welcome to my channel, Everyday with Jackie. Thanks for joining me for today's video. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you'll know each and every time I upload a video. And if you're returning, it's good to see you as always. So if you want to see what today's video is all about, you'll have to keep watching. Okay, so this is kind of new to me on my channel. I have never done a ranking video at all. I'm not even sure actually who started the ranking video, but if I could find out, I will link it below. But for some reason, it comes to mind, I think I heard Kelsee Briana Jai say that she was the starter of the ranking videos. So if I can find out for sure, I will put that in the description box. But I believe I was watching one of her videos and she said that she was the first one that started the ranking videos, but she doesn't get credit for them. So I'm going to give you credit, Kelsee Briana Jai. Let me just verify. So in my first, let me just say, this is so weird that I am doing a ranking video because I really don't have that many Natasha Denona palettes. So for me to sit here and rank them like I have a huge collection, it's hysterical. But I do have a few, and I'm just going to go ahead and rank them as if I had plenty. So let's just go ahead and rank the number 5 position, and that would have to go to my Natasha Denona Lila palette. And this is what this beauty looks like. And these are the shades in the palette. And they're just beautiful. I love these tones. I love all the little pinks and the purples. It has some golds and some coppery shades. This is so pretty. And we'll do a little swatch test, just a few. I'm going to go in with the shade Viola. And that would be this shade right here. I haven't touched this palette, guys. And again, this is Viola. So pretty. And let's go ahead and swatch this shade right here. And this shade is called Cyclone. All of these are so buttery. This is Cyclone. Hope you can see it. And we'll do one more. Let's, maybe 2 more. Let's go in with Amethyst. The shade right here. Right here. Purple. And I do want to, let's swatch a matte. And we'll just go in with this one right here. And this shade is called Nude Vino. Now some of you may be wondering why. First, here's a Nude Vino. It's right here. Almost blends into my skin. Some of you may be wondering, why did I rate this Natasha Denona palette a 5? And the reason that I gave it a 5 is nothing wrong with the palette. And it's not because I don't like the palette. It's just I rated it a 5 because the palette is rather new to me. And I haven't even had a chance to use it yet. So this is my first time swatching it. So I didn't feel like I could rate it any higher, being that I have never used the palette. I don't really know how it's going to perform. It swatches beautifully. But prior to me doing this video, I didn't even know how it swatched. So that's the only reason I rated this palette a 5, just merely because I haven't used it and I wasn't really sure how it would perform on the eyes. You know, if it would be very pigmented, if the shadows would show up true to color, if there was going to be massive fallout. I just didn't know anything really about it. So that's why this palette came in number 5. And now that I swatched it, I think it is going to perform beautifully. So again, because I haven't used this, I rated a 5. but there's nothing wrong with it. It's not that I don't like it. I just haven't used it yet. So the Natasha Lighter Palette comes in for me at number 5. Next, this was such a hard one to do, guys. Next up, I think I'm changing my mind right now as we're sitting here. I think next up for me, I'll rate my Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Palette. And this is what this one looks like. And I'm sure some of you remember when I hauled this. I told you guys I just kept walking by it in Sephora, and every time I was in that store, this palette just kept calling my name. So I went ahead and picked it up. So I think this palette will come in number 4 because I have had a chance to use this palette. And we'll go ahead and swatch some of the shades in this one. I was going to say it doesn't have names on it, but it does. I don't know which way these go. I really don't. I was trying to just be able to... I know this one is called Dirty Mars. But I don't know where to go from there. Sunbeam. This looks more like a sunbeam than this looks like a sunbeam. So, I'll just point. So this shade right here, which may be called Halo or Guava, not sure. We'll go ahead and swatch this one. And that one just really blends into the skin. You probably won't even be able to see that one. Heck, I can't even see it, and I just swatched it. It's right here. Like I said, it blends right on in. Next up is this beautiful shade right here, which could either be Sunbeam or Apollo. So pretty. And then we have Dirty Mars. I'm just horrible at swatches. Dirty Mars. And next up, we'll do this one right here. And we'll do this one right here last. Look at that. So these are the swatches for the Mini Sunset Palette. And the reason that this one came in 4th place is only because it's a mini. And I just feel like this palette by itself doesn't offer very many options. I mean, sure, you can get a look out of here, but you know, it only has the 2 mattes, and it will create a pretty look because I've used this a couple of times, but I only rated this in the 4th place because of it's just limited in the amount of shades that it has, and it doesn't offer very much variety. But again, you saw the swatches. This is very pigmented, and it's a beautiful palette, and I really do like this one. And so this one is in my 4th spot, and again, this is the Natasha Denona Mini Sunset Palette. Next, in my 3rd spot is the Sunset Palette. And once I got the Sunset Palette and incorporated the Mini Sunset Palette with it, it was a home run. So this is what the Sunset Palette looks like. And I just kept seeing people use this on their channels, and it just made me just want it all the more. And I just think it is so pretty. This is such an everyday palette. If you don't feel like wearing all the bright, vivid colors, this is rich with browns and coppers and bronzy tones and taupes, and these 2 pops of color right here. And I have used this red. So this is just a pretty everyday palette, and you can get some beautiful, stunning looks with this palette. And like I said, now that I have this one also, because these shades do not overlap, the ones that are in the mini do not overlap to the fuller size. And so both of these now just give me a little bit more variety. And again, these pair together very well. And so now I find myself using the mini one even more, and I'm just able to incorporate a lot of the shades from the full size Sunset palette as well. So like I said, this is now just a home run for me. And let's just go ahead and do some swatches. Let's go in with the shade Bronzage. And that's this beautiful shade right here. I love this shade. I already got a little dent in this one. And this is what it swatches like. So pretty. And let's swatch Mandarin, which is right next to it. It's this shade right here. And that is Mandarin. And let's go in with a matte, shall we? Let's go in with Terra. This is Terra. Let's see. I think you should be able to see this one on my skin tone. That's Terra. And let's pick up this red right here. And it is called Pension. And that's it right here. So these are just a few shades from my Sunset palette, and it comes in 3rd place. I love this palette. Next up, in 2nd place, it's got to be my Natasha Denona Cranberry palette. I love this palette. This is what it looks like. And I have done a look back in the day with this palette. Now the one thing, this is what it looks like. It's just so pretty. This is gorgeous, guys. And I've already gotten like the hard pan on here. I don't know if it affects the way it performs. I would hope not, but I'm sure after you use this a little while, it's just going to be totally black. But I will go ahead and swatch this, but this is in my number 2 spot because this is just gorgeous. I love this. Let's go ahead and swatch a few. And again, the shade names are on the back. I don't know which way to go with those, so I'll point and swatch. So the first one I'll swatch is this one right here. And that's the shade right here. So pretty. So reflective. Next is hard pan. It doesn't feel bad though, and it still swatches nice. Oh, you can hardly see it when I swatch it. But it picking up on my finger. Oh, there it is. So that's the next shade. And then next up, I'll swatch this one. And then this one right next to it. Now these two look similar, but as you can see, they're nothing alike. And let's go ahead and swatch this beauty right here. Ugh, this shade, I just love it. Okay, and again, this palette is called the Cranberry palette, and it's in my number 2 slot. because this is a gorgeous palette. I really like this palette. If I'm not mistaken, this was the first Natasha Denona palette that I ever picked up. So I'm pleased with it. Not happy about this little beauty right here, but as long as it still performs, if I have to manipulate it, it's all good because I do like this one. So this is in my number 2 slot. And can you guys guess which palette will be in my number 1 slot? If you know, leave me a note below. Leave a comment below before I show it to you. But I guess it would be hard to know because, like I said, I don't have them all. So let's just get on with things. In my number 1 spot for my Natasha Denona palette has to be my my Sunrise palette. This is a favorite of mine. Look at these shades. So it's such a pretty palette. This is the Mini Sunset palette by Natasha Denona, and it comes in my number 1 spot. So let's do a few swatches. Let's go in with, let's see, Poppy. And this is Poppy right here. Oh, guys, this is such a pretty shade. That's Poppy. And let's do Awakening. And this is Awakening right here. This one right here. Awakening. You see it right here. And let's swatch Dayspring. This is Dayspring right here. And let's go in with a matte. Let's swatch Clove. And this is Clove right here. Clove. And again, this is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. And this one falls in my number 1 spot. And let's go ahead and swatch a yellow. Some of you may be wondering what the yellow swatch is like. Let's swatch Carnelian. It's this one right here. Oh, that's a pretty mustard-like shade. And it swatches very well. So this is number 1 for me with Natasha Denona, the Sunrise palette. And I do have an honorable mention, and you'll see why it's an honorable mention. Oh, and just so you know, you can pop these pans out on this palette and rearrange them. Not sure if I don't think you can do it on any of the other ones that I have, but on this one you certainly can pop them out and rearrange them. So now let's look at my honorable mention, and you'll see why it's an honorable mention. I'm not ranking this one because really there's no point, but here is my Natasha Denona honorable mention. Bam. This is just a single shadow. And this shade is called Bronzage. Excuse me, sir. And I picked this up in, I believe, in one of my BoxyCharm boxes when I used to have BoxyCharm. I think this is where this came from. So these are all the Natasha Denona palettes that I have, but this was a fun video today to do, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this is my first ranking video, so if you like these types of videos, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. And thank you so much for tuning in to the channel today. I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you'll know each and every time I upload a video. And remember, you guys are always welcomed and wanted here on my channel. Everyone stay safe, and I will see everyone in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.